I see Brendan's here, so why don't we bring Brendan on right now?
Hey, how you doing,
Brendan, let me put
Niiamah?
on my headphones so I can hear you. Hold on 1 second here. Let's bring you on here. All right, Brendan, welcome to Outliers Edge Live, and thanks for coming to jam with me, man. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Blessed, man. How about you?
Good. I'm doing quite well. It's been a long time since we last got a chance to talk, so I'm glad that we are in space together. Um, let's do this, Brendan. I like to. This conversation should remain a conversation, right? So I don't want it to become we're going to platform you, but I want us to be able to be in the exploration of the topic itself rather than like everything else. So why don't we start off first by just making sure that people know who you are, right? So give us a bit here. Let us know more about you and the game you're currently playing, Brendan.
Well, for me, the game I'm currently playing right now is AI. That's the key word because I'm utilizing that to the core to help out just get all what I have in this mind out to the people so they can feel like they're being heard. If they can feel like their story is being out there through just me using my perspective, experiences, and also maybe what they have experienced through a story, through storytelling. And
Mhm.
through storytelling and experience of my life too, through storytelling, I believe would be the best way on how to play the game I'm playing right now, which is attention through impact.
Nice. Yeah, Brendan, I've known Brendan for well over a year now, at least a year and a half. It's in that time I think you've written two additional books. He's written like when I was talking to you last, you were a three-time author.
Yeah.
That now a four-time author here.
Well, yes, sir.
Um, uh, yeah. So I see we might have some things here. Show us what you got. Tell us
This
about
is
these
my
these
new
last
book.
recent
Yes,
books.
sir. This is my new book right here called "The Best Is Yet to Come." The story about Matthew and Leo. This is Matthew right here, and this is Leo, the little lion. But at the beginning, they're like cubs, and basically, it's a story to help build up, bravery and encouragement and leadership, and to inspire the little kids to know that hey, they can do something. So anyone who's watching us who may have like parent, who are maybe a parent, an uncle, an auntie, whoever it is, you have a little kid in your life, or you're a teacher at a little kid school, this book would be great for them to learn about leadership and just everything because see it's all my that's extra stories. I don't want to spoil that, but these are like little things right here. So basically, they're all just AI generated, but they're illustrations, of course, but the story is through my mind, just through my experiences. And I I know this is a professional platform, but I will reference this too. It is inspired by my faith, and I do believe in God, and it has some references about just reaping the reward of good things you do and through lessons and experiences. Not even that, just even in our platform right now, entrepreneurship, you may have pitfalls, but at the end, you'll reach that reward because if you really are passionate about it, you really love what you're doing, you can stick to it. And my other three books, just briefly, because I don't want to keep it too long. These three books right here, these are two self-help books here. This is a memoir of my life, and I published these within back-to-back years, 2023, 2024, 2025. Yep. This is the memoir here.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
So thanks, Brendan. So all for y'all joining in or coming in right now. What we're doing right now is we're going to be jamming right now. I brought Brendan on. Brendan, if you want to come and jam with us, go ahead and just like leave a message. Come join us put a comment. I'll send you a link to come and join us here. But I wanted to let you all know about like Brendan because he's an outlier. He's playing this game and I want to come play with that. So Brendan, for the rest of this conversation, like outliers, you want to know about the books and all that stuff, they'll get that. My ask is that you and I jam together. And when I think about a jamming session, what I look at here is like it's not about us trying to teach anyone anything. Like that goes with the element of being an outlier. I think it's about us like actually not even like sharing our experience or anything. Like it's like let's talk about this topic. Let's talk about like where it feels really relevant. Let's challenge each other on the thinking around it all, right? This is what I do. This is what happens like whenever anytime you're in an outlier space, right? Whether you're in the community or in any conversation with me, what we're really looking to do is just expand your thinking, all right? And so tell me here right now, like you came and joined us. The premise of this conversation was why leveling feels dangerous, especially to outliers. Like what about leveling up for you, or so why leveling up feels dangerous, especially to outliers? What about leveling up for you feels like the most dangerous? Like when you think about that, what about that really feels dangerous to you?
The fact that you might be going with, depending on the individual, it might be a high risk.
Let's do this and keep it
Okay.
like about you, but like
Oh, about
yeah.
me. Okay. I'll say for
Yeah,
my life.
like what feels dangerous about leveling up for you specifically?
Okay, for me specifically, I'll say this like here. For me specifically, it's just that it's like a high risk, high reward because of the fact that right now, and I'm gonna say this right here on live stream, that currently I am just doing school. I'm not really doing school. I'm just going to the campus. But I'm only doing that because of the fact that I don't want to disappoint my parents. And it's not because I'm trying to please them, but it's because I want to avoid being and dealing with yelling and dealing with just all craziness because of the fact that, some people don't understand your purpose. Because, with me personally, I'm not here to say I'm gonna be a lazy person, anything like that. I'm a very ambitious guy, but I also be kind of grounded as well and know that at least I may need some type of job or income to come in to fill in the gaps to support what I'm doing. And that's why I've been doing it as of right now too, because last year I had a job, they laid me off, but I've been just looking for other jobs. But for the college route, for me personally, I just feel like that's not for me. And I've experimented with it through cybersecurity, through entrepreneurship. And I realized I already have so much different experiences through entrepreneurship and leadership and just things I've done in high school that, now it's like there's no need. I'm not saying I'm being closed minded, but it's that basically the way our entrepreneurship is now, it's more of a one man show and less about just everybody coming together, unless you want to have that traditional corporate building. But nowadays, entrepreneurship isn't as traditional no more. Just like our college and the education space isn't as traditional. Right here, this is a form of untraditional education because we're not professors, but we're all our professors in our experiences. And so, for even
Yeah.
me personally, speaking for me, I feel like doing this is more better, and it makes me feel more better because I don't have to worry about going to a campus, going to have to pay a loan, going to pay a debt, I'm zero debt, zero debt free.
So
Mm.
So let me see if I'm getting this right here, then, Brendan. Like, from what I'm hearing from you, like, all right, the thing for you right now is like you want to level up as an entrepreneur. You want to level up in as a content creator, a podcast host, an entrepreneur, right, an author,
Oh
right?
yes,
And the status quo that would be like, hey, why don't you just go along and like go to college, go to university to go and like take whatever the next steps along that. And for you, you're like, I'm actually going through this leveling up process that is having me come out and do this on my own. But you're also choosing to do this. There's I'm not like too big in Mr. Beats world, but like I got that kind of feel where it's like look, I was going to school and then I had to figure out how to make more from outside of it than whatever that path would have been had I decided to stay in it. And so that's what I feel like I'm getting from you right now. Like, hey, you've had to make a choice that is not a popular one around the people that are with you. And I think this is the other part that like um that feels real to me. It's like and now you have the job of actually making it work. And it's one thing to be like, hey, look, things aren't traditional, like there's like XYZ, but like you stepped off the beaten path, you stepped off the more like more paved road of what people tend to look at as traditional success or pathways to get there. And now the onus is on you to actually like make that call come to life. How real does that feel to you?
it feels great for me. It feels real. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. What would you say, like, when you're thinking about like your journey, like what's been one of the things that has gotten you to say, well, let me ask this question differently. Like, as you're looking to where you're trying to go now, right? You've done the authorship thing. You've even like stepped in here and you're like, all right, I'm like you have a vision of what you're building and you're stepping and creating it in alignment with it, even though it's like it's hard and it's not what most other people would do. What would you say right now is feels like the most dangerous part about leveling up for you now? Or let me rephrase that. What do you think that you are trying to level up the most now? Where are you trying to grow the most now?
Okay. Would say more, and I'm trying not to be too broad. For me personally, I is that I'm trying to grow my personal brand, and by
Yeah,
growing that, I'll say like this: I'm using different AI tools, and not even that, just my own
yeah,
human knowledge and experience, and just letting these
yeah,
books be the gateway to
yeah.
letting them see different parts of me because it's kind of like
Mm.
for average person, not average person. Let me not say that. For some people, it may be too much, but for me, it's not too much because I can handle it. I can handle dealing with a kid's book that could turn into a franchise with stickers and coloring books. I can deal with self-help books or memoirs or a YouTube channel. And so for me, it's like when I do multiple things, it helps my mind flow because it's like all my creativity is not being squeezed out, but actually be in a blender where I have like the banana one, the strawberry one, the apple one. And so for me leveling up right now, that's how I see it. I see my purpose, I see my journey and my stories just being elaborated in different forms of media. And with the power of AI, it just makes the workflow even more easier now. And so that's why I feel so confident, because I know within a matter of just about maybe 3 years, maybe even under that or even more, I know in the short term, if I be consistent with everything I'm doing, I'll be able to become, a full time, content creator, entrepreneur, author. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love that what you just said there, and like, because like I look at this in like real time, and you know me, Brendan. We've talked for quite a bit, so I listen to both what people say, but what they're also like what's actually happening underneath it, right? And so for any of y'all that are watching this here, Brendan didn't know he was going to come on this. Right, this was not like a like he didn't come on today and say like I can't wait to go join Niiamah on the live here, right? But I made the invitation, and when I made the invitation, he's like, "I would love to be on this live with you." That's the message that he sent out here, right? And so we made it come to life, right? And so like that to me also shows like the level of like leaning into leveling up, leaning into playing this game here. You know, Brendan, I really feel you on the AI stuff, right? Especially like at least as content creators and things like that. Like I think it's a really great leverage point for us. And one of the things that has come from that has been for me, I've been for years a big proponent, big fan of repurposing, right? And so I'm like, all right, let me just go create it, and then like I'll take clips out of it, and I'll go put it on all these different channels, and we'll just keep like distributing. Like, let me go repurpose it. But recently, and I think this has come really because of AI and being able to incorporate it in the workflow. I've been thinking about this concept that I'm calling Upperposing. We'll see if the name sticks or not. For any of you that are watching this live or in the replay, like let me know if Upperposing feels good for you. It's a little clunky to write. like I'm like it's like two P's in a row. That's a little bit off, right? But but the idea of Upperposing is like being able to leverage AI and be to and other things, but being able to leverage like the technology we have for around us to help make the messages that we create like that much more potent. So repurposing was about getting it to everywhere, but then like the Uppurposing is like, all right, how can we use this to make it even better? How can we use this to grab like certain parts of this conversation and turn it into an article, or like you created a book, you created a book out there, and I love how you're like, oh, the animation, the graphics in it, AI. I'm like, what? Like I was like in my mind, I was like, oh, you had to go get an illustrator. He's like, he's partnered with Illustrator. He's like, yeah, the Illustrator is like, this AI tool, and I think that there's something. I guess there's a couple of different things I want to call out, but I think more than anything else, I think what I like about spending time with you, Brendan, is that you're living the growth. You're showing up here live. You're creating the next thing. You are building out the book, getting the AI things going on, and I'm imagining that each book you write becomes easier than the book beforehand because you've done it now 4 times over. Um, what are your thoughts on any of that? Let me just check in. Let's jam a little bit on what I just said there.
Well, what you're saying there is true. The fact that these books have gotten easier, and this children's book was the most easiest one because it wasn't a chapter book, and it became something that could become a franchise. By the inspiration of me just looking at different other illustrations, and other stories that I grew up with in animation, such as, Shrek, Madagascar, Gold Panda, Lion King. And with my books that are like chapter books, self help, it will help them out because I've done seen so many documentaries, seen so many things. And as you say, repurpose. That's all I done. I just repurposed everything but made it with a Brendan Brown mark on it. That's all it is, just my footprint in it. And with the AI stuff, that's all it is. It's just, you know, tools that are repurposed, but if you know how to tweak them, you can make them unique for your own personal story and not just have it as generic AI things. But to answer your question, yeah, that's how what my thoughts are right now. I'm just feeling very confident in this and that everything is just tools I'm using to branch out my creativity in my mind.
I like that there. So like where would you say is like the level jump for you then? Like what's the thing that feels like, all right, here, this is where I was before. Put another way, how would you know that you were like leveling up versus like, just doing more? I'm curious for you about like that distinction. Yeah.
Okay. So how can I know if I'm just leveling up more? Excuse me for what I was doing there in my mouth. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on in my mouth, but
Yeah.
basically what I can say there is that this book here has been getting eyes looking at it. And
Yeah.
so through each experience, this did well. The data showed that.
Yeah,
This
that was
was
the first
best
book,
seller.
right? The first
Yes,
book
sir.
and
This is
second
the
book.
book
This
for
for anyone that's ended up listening
oh,
to
wait.
this later on, we'll make sure you know what's going
Yeah,
on.
this is the first book. It did really good.
Yeah.
This the
Yeah.
second book. It did really good. Was the best seller. And then this book didn't really do too much because I didn't really market it as much. And I gotta get back into marketing that. But then this book here, when I market it, got attention. When I see
Yeah.
people in person, virtual, it gets their attention. Kind of reminded me back in these days when I had these books up. And so what I'm trying to say here is that data, faith, and belief can really help you out in
Mm.
seeing that, and it can really help me out. I'm sorry, can help me out
Yeah.
in seeing how I'm leveling up and what I'm doing. And by my data, I'm looking at it, my faith, and just me believing that I know there's a higher power higher than me that's giving me the source to do what I do. That's what helps me know right now that I'm leveling up.
Love it.
Even though I'm not getting the amount of followers I want, the amount of stuff I want, it's still growing. So that's still what's good. It's growing. It's not growing to maybe 1,000 a day, but I'm seeing at least one person or two grow every day. And if I'm seeing that, that's showing right there something's working. Because if it was just staying at, 1,000 for like 2 years straight, I would need to go. But no,
Hmm.
it took me about 6 years. No, yeah, about two, no, 5 years to get it from one to 1,000. And who
Mm.
knows, but the power of AI, it might get me there even faster. But all I'm saying here is that creativity, faith, and data proven information will help you out, will help me out, and may help you out too. I even know we're talking about me. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it can help somebody else out as well who's watching this.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
just
no worries. Like I think the thing that we find here with Outliers is it's like we're listening to this with our own like lens on what it is that we need in order to keep making moves. We're going to have to wrap up here for this thing. But do you do a lot of live streams? Like, have you like do you jump on people's lives or like host your own lives yourself?
I'm actually doing that right now on my phone right now on Instagram. I'm trying to incorporate that more because this is free game here for anyone who's watching this. But I've heard that Gary Vee was talking about how the power of live streaming be the future, and I
Hmm.
can tell you from experience, live stream is really good because I've had people who follow me through live stream. I just see on Instagram like, hey, follow me. They follow me, and with this book, with me doing that, that could potentially lead to something as well. And yeah, I have been incorporating live stream to answer your question.
Yeah, see, this is the thing up here. Like this is where I love our game here, right? Because it's like notice like you've been doing this on your own, and then when the opportunity came up to come do live, you're like, yeah, sure, let's go do it, right? And I think that like I want to make sure I call that out there for any outlier that's looking at this, being like, oh, I don't know if I could ever get on. Like if Niiamah invites me, I don't know. Like part of why I invite people onto these things and I bring people on is so that we can have that experience of leveling up, so that we can have that experience of like knowing that like, oh, I've done a live stream before, oh, I've seen what it's like to come in live, like even here in this space, like I'm playing around with the different uh graphics and ways that we come up on screen and things like that, just to kind of just make it like it's like, look, this is how I can be easily out in the world creating this way. This is part of my vision, and this is the part of the space that we create, so that like we can see that yes, it's a lot can happen live, right? I'm like, and like my thing is like there's a danger in that. I'm like, I don't know, come on in. Luckily, I ended up being you. I'm glad I'm glad I ended up being you this time,
Yeah.
Brendan. You know, but like
Mhm.
but what I want to call out is how the other moments in our lives actually get us ready for all the different level of opportunities and dangers and everything else that might show up from there. So that's one, right? And then two, it's like being like putting yourself in that space, allowing room for the danger to take place is actually like to me like that ends up being the compass. That ends up being like where to look for, rather than find like what's comfortable, what's simple. It's like, all right, what's the thing right now that I'm not necessarily sure. Like I don't mind. My thing, I think one of my guesses is that I'm willing to be messy in public. You know, and when I am being private about it, I'm like, all right, so y'all been hiding, and this is how I've been messy. And so I want to say thanks to you, Brendan, for coming on. You're the first person that has said yes to this. And in this way, like, and what that that has now given me, I feel like I've unlocked a new power up, a new level. Like my EXP has gone up. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, this works. You know, we can just come and play. Right.
Yes, sir. And the thing is too, I want the audience to know as well. I did, but this was not planned because I know they're probably like, well, he got a suit on. No, this is because I went
Yeah.
to a job interview.
I just happen to
Yeah,
look
I went
good.
to
What,
job. Yeah, went
yeah.
to a job interview earlier today, so that's why I just had
Yeah.
this on. But hey, it came
Yeah.
by coincidence. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really wear
Yeah.
suits like this on interviews, but hey,
Yeah.
this is the first time in a while I probably wore like this type of outfit on an interview.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love the like I love that you explain it. Like it's these are the things that I'm looking to kind of like tie the knots on or sorry to paint the trail on. It's what we do inside the Outliers Edge Guild. It's what we do inside of our Outliers Ed spaces. Like it's just like let us go and find ways for us to like connect the dots of life and to keep showing up in a meaningful way. All right, Brendan. Thank you so much here. Thanks for coming to join me live here. I'm going to take you out, off of the live right now. But know that like we do this every day at 9 o'clock or Monday through Friday every weekday at 9 o'clock Pacific time. We might start about like somewhere between 9 and 9:30. Trying to get I have to change some things in my calendar to make it all fully come out here. But I appreciate you being here, Brendan. And like this is the kind of games that we want to be playing going forward. You know, this is how things go. So Outliers, we're gonna wrap up for today. You're gonna hear more about this. Like my goal is to just keep removing the friction that's keeping you from like leveling up to whatever it is that you're meant to be or wherever your next steps are. All right. Go ahead, leave a comment in here. Would love to talk to you more. You know, if you come and join us inside of the Outliers Edge community, that's school.com/outlier. It's a free community. We meet here. You get invited to come be on the space. You saw how I was able to invite Brendan on here. He's a member of the community. Made it really, really simple to do that. We jam together. I hold sessions there. And then, you know, if you're interested in coming to play with us at higher levels where you get some more private spaces rather than doing everything out in public, you can go and easily come in and join us in some of our other tiers of membership as well. All right. All right. So we'll leave it at that. Here goes the deal. I'll end with this as like my final point. The thing that the insight I got from today is that leveling up feels dangerous to an outlier because we are dangerous. Like, and we are dangerous because we have the power to shift things. We have the power to be accepted by others and still make moves. And even when every barrier is put in front of us, roadblocks are put in front of us, or things just aren't necessarily easy for us to succeed, we do so anyway, and we do it at high levels. And that can be really dangerous to someone who's trying to keep the status quo going on, whether it's in the macro environment or just like making sure nothing has to change for themselves. And I think that is why level up is designed to feel dangerous. It's systemically and societally designed to be dangerous or feel dangerous. But now that we know that, we can use that to our advantage. And so, like I say, go out there, look for the compass, look for the places that, like, you know, stay like physically safe. Like don't do anything that you don't need to do in that regard. But like know that like if it's about being courageous, be courageous. See what happens, and then continue to go and know that like you've been walking your path as it is. Like there's more to it. And if you want to get some help growing your awareness, being able to have a space to get messy with it, to be able to practice and to be able to hone and define, to gain mastery around who you are and how you show up in your life, your business, and your impact, then come join us inside of the Outliers Edge Guild, school.com/outlier. All right. Until next time, we all